Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, has entered her exaltation in the sign of Pisces January 2nd, where she will be swimming along through, basically the storyline takes us through to May 1st. There is a retrograde involved, but this is where Venus is celebrated and she is revered and she is held up and admired and loved and adored. One of my very favorite transits of 2025. Hello, my name is Eliane Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video I am so excited to talk to you about this really sweet spot amidst a lot of the tumult in the world right now. And so before I get into the translation, I just want to say you must be watching this on my YouTube channel because I'm no longer posting these on Instagram. My YouTube channel is my name, Eliane Nicole. Please make sure that you're subscribed. Please hit the notification bell every time so that you are notified every time I post a new video. Please like, please comment, please share. It helps me in the algorithm. It helps me to grow my community and grow my business. And it puts me in a position to give these free astrological offerings. And now, without further ado, oh yes, one other thing I wanted to say is if you'd like to thank me by buying me a coffee or buying me a tea or a Happy New Year present, I will put a link in the description notes underneath to make a donation through Venmo. And also there will be a link there to book a reading with me because I believe astrology works best one-on-one. And now, without further ado, I am going to talk about one of my very favorite transits of all of 2025, Venus in Pisces. And so Venus rules things like love and beauty and style, pleasure, attraction. Sometimes she has to do with health, good health issues, sense of well-being. Sometimes she has to do with money, where we're making money, where we have natural gifts coming into us. And so Venus in general always deals with good topics, but you know, her home is Libra or Taurus, but she's exalted in Pisces. So this means it's like as if she's a guest at and you know, and they're just rolling out the red carpet for her and pampering her and adoring her and loving on her and just holding her up in very high esteem. That's what Venus passing through Pisces is like. And so in general, this is a really great time in topics of love and art and beauty and romance. And of course, like when, you know, you always have to look at your own chart and where she's traveling and what planet she's aspecting and how she's aspecting them to know how it would affect you personally. But I'm telling the broad strokes of what a Venus in Pisces means. So Venus in Pisces, she's in the yin, watery, mutable temple of Jupiter. Jupiter is her host because she's in Pisces. And Jupiter is currently traveling through Gemini, retrograde. So Jupiter, Venus's host, this time around while she's in Pisces, is a very reflective Jupiter. He is reflecting on his values. He's reflecting on topics like, you know, really his overall philosophy on life, his ideology, maybe his spiritual or religious leanings. Maybe he's reflecting on morality, you know, ideas, words, how he's using them. All of these kinds of Gemini things, perhaps higher education or, you know, and so we've got a very reflective host, but it's still Jupiter. He's not in his favorite place. Gemini isn't Jupiter's favorite place to be in, but it's still Jupiter. Jupiter is the great benefic and Venus is the lesser benefic. So for them to be working together as Venus is moving through Pisces, again, there's a lot of grace here. You know, there's a lot of grace during this cycle. And, you know, that doesn't negate the fact that, you know, we've got a Mars-Pluto opposition that's also happening at the beginning of the year. That's where there's a lot of like brutality and violence and accidents and things of that nature, which I did a whole other video about that. And I don't really want to bring that into the Venus video, but I'm just saying that to say that astrology is a holistic art. And to really get the whole picture of what's going on, you have to look at how all of the entities are placed in the sky. But Venus is the sweet spot in a world full of chaos and some troublesome times. This is a place in your chart where you can look for some salvation during the beginning part of 2025. And if you don't know which house Pisces rules in your chart, please contact me for a reading, because sometimes, you know, you have to recognize the blessing to receive it. And gratitude goes a long way when it comes to Venus, and particularly while she's in Jupiter, you know, being ruled by Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. I think it's such a good time to just make a practice of daily gratitude lists, either first when you wake up or right before you go to bed. You know, list 5 to 10 things that you're grateful for. Even if you can only list 3, you know, write it down. Anyway, that just came to me that I should say that. It's a really good exercise, and the more that we're grateful for, the more grace that flows into our lives. And so anyway, but in general, Venus in Pisces, I believe, is just great for art and composing music and dance and photography and film and painting. It's great for, you know, just pampering yourself, beautifying yourself, you know, reviewing your style. I think of Venus and Pisces as being like wearing a lot of like cooler tones, cooler color tones, being near the ocean. Just, I don't know. Those are just some things off the top of my head. I didn't even plan to say that. I don't even know. I'm just riffing. I actually really want to get to what the transits are. So January 2nd, she enters Pisces. January 14th, she forms a square with Jupiter in Gemini, which I already kind of talked about. That's her host. And this square is requiring action. I mean, Jupiter and Pisces square, Jupiter and Gemini square Venus and Pisces. Sometimes when Venus and Jupiter are squaring each other, there's too much of a good thing. It can be, with Gemini and Pisces energy, there can be, you know, over sentimentalizing something with your words or the way that you're thinking about it. Again, I think gratitude lists are a great thing. Let's see, on the 18th, Venus is conjunct Saturn in Pisces at 17 degrees. And this could be making a commitment, a long-term commitment around art or beauty or love or spirituality or religion. It could be connecting with a spiritual figure in your life, you know, a priest, an imam, a rabbi, a guru, someone, or just a wiser and older figure in your life, a grandparent or mentor who is lacing you with some deep spiritual truths or wisdom that will go a long way in life. On the 28th, Venus enters the pre-shadow of the retrograde season. There is a retrograde season involved here. So the overall Venus story is going to be tying together themes from the Aries house in your chart and the Pisces house in your chart. Yeah, this has to do a lot with the vision that you have for love or for art or for beauty, and then how you are going to go after it, and how the vision and the action relate to each other, and hopefully support each other. So I feel like I'm not being so articulate, but I'm going to keep going. So Venus entering pre-shadow January 28th just means that she will return to this degree in the retrograde. So from that point on, everything that happens may be revisited around Venusian topics: art, beauty, love, romance, pleasure, attraction. So January 19th, Mercury in Capricorn forms a sextile with Venus in Pisces. This is very poetic, beautiful words. This is very fertile, creative soil, you know, for, I don't know, it's great for writers, great for poetry, for composing music, beautiful for painting, you know, making tangible art in the world, and bringing form to the dream through thought, through writing, through conversations, through, you know, scheduling and planning and all of those kinds of things. Let's see, on the 26th, Venus is sextile Uranus. This is bringing a pleasant surprise. This is also very creative energy for musicians and painters and anyone who works with images, you know, filmmakers, photographers, yeah, a pleasant surprise, or it could also be a pleasant surprise in love. Again, this is very fertile soil to create and to grow things around love and beauty and art. And on the 1st, February 1st is a major special day. And this is a day where Venus is aligning with Neptune, the North Node, and the moon, all in Pisces, all at the same degree and around the 27th, 28th degree. So this is going to be very, very personal for people with any mutable signs in the last degrees of Pisces, of any planets in the last degrees of the mutable signs in your chart. So that would be Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, or I'm leaving out a mutable sign. Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo, or Gemini. And if you have any water signs, this is going to be, I think, really beautiful, possibly really emotional, but really beautiful transit that's happening. All of these, it's a very rare alignment for all of these planets to be coming together all at the same time. You know, the North Node is only in Pisces every 18 years, and it just moved there now. And so for Venus to be there at the same time, and the moon, and Neptune is like, we don't even see Neptune in every sign in our lifetime, because Neptune takes 165 days to go, 65 years to go around the sun. So this is a very special moment in time. It's exacting February 1st, but likely we'll be feeling it the whole last week of January and the whole first week of February, but the peak is February 1st. And this is very ethereal, it's otherworldly, it's very emotional. You know, again, different people will experience it differently. There's a side of it that can be just, you know, spiritual, religious, transcendental experience, otherworldly experiences. It can be very creative, just beautiful art coming forth either from the creator, or you may be receiving it as an appreciator of art. It can be very psychic. People may be having psychic visions or channeling. It's highly intuitive. Great for writing poetry, for filmmaking, for photography, for painting, anything to do with images. It can be very emotionally overwhelming for some. Some people may feel exhausted or just want to nap. It might just, you know, it might be more about being asleep and being in the dream realm and having very vivid dreams that are taking you to other worlds and other places. It can also be a day marked by an overwhelming amount of generosity and compassion and forgiveness and altruism and philanthropy. Yeah, there could be some really huge events around the ocean and water. It could be mark psychedelic experiences. On the shadow side, there could be things like addiction, you know, going too far with drugs or alcohol, or you know, it can be the realm of fantasy and illusion and delusion in major ways. And so there is a be careful side to it. But for the most part, I think people are going to experience this transit in a really beautiful way. There will be those who experience the shadow side of it, which is like, could be too much of a good thing, you know, overindulging in things that, you know, could be harmful. So, and then Venus moves into Aries on February 3rd. And I'm going to come back and do a second part video to this Venus story. I'm going to be breaking it down into sections because there's this first section of Venus in Pisces, and there's going to be another section of Venus in Aries. Then there's going to be the section of when Venus goes retrograde, and then there's going to be the section of when Venus goes direct. And so I'm going to break it down. I just wanted to come in and start with this first part of what's going on with Venus in Pisces. It's such a beautiful transit. I'm very excited about it. Venus is my time lord this year. If you don't know what a time lord is, that is something that I can tell you about. We all have a chart ruler that's our chart ruler for our entire life, but each year on our birthday, we get a different time lord which it means the transits of that planet are going to pack an extra punch or have extra emphasis or very much more noticeable expression in our lives during that year. So when I read for you, I can tell you what your time lord is if you're interested. I will put a link in the description underneath to book a reading with me. I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. I would love to read for you. It would be my honor and privilege. And everyone should have their chart done at least once in their lives. I think it's good to get your chart tuned up, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a year. And I'm going to leave you with a tarot card, the 8 of Cups. I love this card because it's a seeking card. I love this card because it takes place at twilight. There's water and there's earth, so there's emotion, but there's also, the physical realm and the things that we want to manifest in that realm. And you see this figure has these 8 cups that are so nicely stacked. There's so much abundance. There's so much emotional fulfillment that this person already has. But clearly there is one missing cup, and the figure has his or her back to us, and this is a seeking card, and she or he is seeking to find that one missing piece to complete the picture. And, I believe that there's a lot of hope in this card, or I prefer really the word faith, but faith requires action. And so this person is in the act of going to find the missing cup to complete the picture. And it's a seeker's card. Yes, it's a seeker's card. It's a reflective card. It's a card of deep emotion. And, I think that all this Pisces energy that's coming up as Venus enters Pisces, and then the nodes are going to shift with the North Node moving into Pisces, which I will be talking about in another video coming up. And then this big kind of crescendo of events happening at the end of January, the beginning of February in the Pisces sector of our chart. This is a very reflective energy, and Pisces is a lot about the oneness of humanity, but just the oneness of the entire world and universe, our oneness with the flowers and the trees and the stars and the animals and the planets, like everything, and just having this kind of like higher consciousness about how connected everything is. And that's what I love about astrology, because astrology, it's just about the stars reflecting back to us what is happening in our lives and on the planet, because everything in the physical universe reflects everything else. There's a very divine organization. And Venus in Pisces, I feel like, is really a one love type of transit. It's a transit about divine love and divine timing in love, and divine guidance in love, and art and beauty and attraction and all of these kinds of things. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, this is one of my favorite transits of the year. I don't feel like, actually, I'm not going to say anything negative. I am grateful for you for being here with me and listening to this, and I am going to continue to try to bring the best content possible through all of 2025 as each planet makes important transits. And please feel free to let me know in the comments if there's anything you would like to hear more about or want me to talk about in these videos. And I appreciate you so much. Good night, and please enjoy the beauty of Venus in Pisces amidst all the other things going on in the world. Enjoy Venus in Pisces. Thank you. Goodbye.